The Tana River is situated in northern Norway and is known by the Sami as the Diatno, which means the Great River. It was famous for its salmon fishing.
We've had families and friend groups that I've been accommodating since we built the cabin, and they went independently to do their fishing. There's a lot of families in the area who used to fish for themselves, to feed themselves over the winter.
There are many different kinds of traditions used during the season from maybe June, the end of May. There's a lot of terminology in the Sami language connected to it, a lot of habits and customs to follow. So people had a lot of things to make conversation about. So if you ran into somebody in the store, you would talk about the fishing, how it's gone, is the river going up or down? There's a tradition that have good luck in fishery, you should make a sacrifice. And the sacrifices are made locally all around the river.
In the river, the Atlantic salmon is born, where the small salmon are starting exploring the environment and trying to don't be eaten by all the predators that can be in the river, where the salmons are prepared to then go to the Atlantic Ocean. A salmon can stay in the sea for 4 years. So during the ocean part, the salmon is growing and being ready to migrate back to the river where they were born. Once the salmon climb up the river and find spawning ground, they mate. So the female is releasing the eggs and the male is releasing the sperm.
The number of Atlantic salmon has been decreasing in the Tana River. Since 2017, the government tried to stop this decrease by selling less fishing licenses. These restrictions weren't enough, and since June 2021, there has been a complete ban on salmon fishing in the river.
The area, it's been always so well known for the salmon fishing, and then when they banned the salmon fishing completely, after that we haven't really had proper summer tourism anymore.
The main discussion these days, when this is no longer allowed, is that the people are afraid, this is the third year, that the children haven't been a part of it. And also there's a kind of depression. Some people say that this summer they didn't have any reason to go visiting because there was nothing to talk about.
Another problem in the Tana River is the invasion of the pink salmon. These were introduced by the Soviets in the 1950s and are now taking over the river by taking away the food and the habitations of the Atlantic salmon. They die immediately after spawning, and this year the Tana River was filled with that pink salmon. What are the solutions for all these problems? One solution can be fish farming, but it's relatively new and it's not perfect yet.
Fish farming is happening since the 80s in Norway, and is the second most important income for the full country after oil. So it's something that we cannot avoid, and we want that the fish that are farmed are having a good life, because they are animals that feel. I think that Norway has the most advanced way to monitor fish welfare, to monitor the environment. Norway is advanced in this.
And that's one of the arguments, at least for me personally, that we should farm instead of, because then of course we will have other problems, but at least we're not getting the problems with bycatch and indiscriminate fishing. We know exactly what we have, we know exactly where they are, at least we have control over it.
And I think the advantage of fish farming at the stage it is now is that we are at a point where we can implement regulations and technology that mitigates any future problems.
when they started coming out with these restrictions on the fishing. We already kind of then started building the winter and autumn, trying to make that strong. Northern Lights is the main attraction where they come, but people have been surprised how much else there is to do, and like they can see and learn. Like we go husky sledding, we go snowshoeing. When in the summertime, I would say it was fishing.
It's a big debate. What is the reason for the lack of salmon? A lot of things happens in the sea. So it's a really big discussion. How much does it really affect the salmon that there is some local fishery? My opinion is that they should allow a small quantity just so that all this tradition are kept alive. But of course, it's a political issue.
There's a lot of these regulations that are being done for politics more than what is good nature conservation. It's a very easy one to put out into the public eye and say we are doing something.
I would hope that people would enjoy fishing other kinds of fish, maybe less focus on the salmon and more focus on other kinds of fisheries, because there's a lot of other fishes that you can fish, that you're allowed to fish, but they don't have the same status.
Salmon is the high-priced fish, right? But you can catch equally large pink salmon, but it doesn't have the same status. Again, it's a human thing.
So, this story is not finished yet, but I think these are possible solutions if we try to communicate together more, and that we should remember there's plenty of other fish in the sea.